And welcome back to the Spicy Sports Show with Sam Stone and Tom Crane, coming to you live from Portland, Oregon, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's 4:58 on the West Coast, 7:58 on the East Coast. Tommy, what do you have for your final topic, or do you want me to go first?
I'm going to piggyback off of your final topic.
Okay, perfect. So my final topic, as you know, Sir Roger Moore, who played 7 James Bonds between 1973 and 1985, passed away today at the age of 89. Now, of course, he's well known for James Bond, and he took over the franchise for Sean Connery. And for me, where I rank, it doesn't matter today. But Sir Roger Moore, without a doubt, was the smoothest of the Bonds. I just think his ability to play the role in such from Connery that was very aggressive and a sexually charged James Bond to a suave and cool guy where people wanted to drink with him, and ladies, of course, swooned towards the cool. Live and Let Die played this morning. I had no idea what was going on. It's a great song. It's one of the most iconic James Bond tracks of all time. Playing it this morning and then got to work and then found out the news. 89 years old. It's pretty impressive. And he's older than Roger Moore, he's older than Sean Connery, which if you think about it, is pretty intense considering, again, Connery played Bond first. And again, Live and Let Die was arguably his most famous movie. You still have a lot of other ones. Man with a Golden Gun, it's up there, probably top 5 of all time. The Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, and A View to a Kill. And of course, being the oldest actor to have played Bond, to start when he was 45 and 58 when he announced his retirement from Bond in 1985. Again, Moore's Bond was definitely different from the version created by Ian Fleming. He provided scenarios where Moore was cast as a seasoned playboy that would always have a trick or gadget in stock when he needed it. And in 2004, he was voted Best Bond in the Academy Awards poll, where he won 62% of the votes. He won 62% of the votes in another poll in 2008. And of course, in 1987, hosting the anniversary 007, 25 years of James Bond. You look at his career, and there are other movies that he's played in, of course. And I'm not trying to not acknowledge that, but again, we just know him for that iconic franchise, and for him to stabilize it, and for him to really play the character that he did. Because you look at the other Bonds, George Lazenby for one movie, Timothy Dalton for 2, Pierce Brosnan for another, and then Daniel Craig, who's, again, still up in the air as to whether or not he's going to come back. They've all played a similar Bond that's closer to Connery, which, again, it's a little more aggressive, a little more charged in that, wink wink area. But Roger Moore just could be Connery. That's not a problem. But his versatility to switch around personas and to play with a lot of different actors. Maud Adams was one of the more famous Bond women throughout that time frame. Did 2 films with Moore. And everything, no one had bad things to say about the guy, which is hard to do when you're a star in such an iconic franchise. I just think that his movies are great. And there's a couple that I've seen outside of it. But I'm definitely going to watch some more James Bond this weekend as a big Bond fan myself. I know my parents watched their first movie they ever watched together was, or they watched like in theaters when growing up in separate countries, was The Spy Who Loved Me. It was translated to Spanish in the 70s, and it was a good movie, apparently. So that's how big his influence was, not just around the country, but around the world as well. And of course, he was knighted. So Sir Roger Moore, thank you for your contributions to not just film, but just society in general. And of course, Tommy, piggybacking off this final topic, what do you got?
So, Roger Moore, definitely one of the greatest. He did tie Sean Connery with having some of the most 007 movies where they were tied at 7. As you said, Sean Connery was a more aggressive sort of lover when it came to James Bond, where Roger Moore was more of a lighthearted feel to Bond, an approach that led people to describe Moore's Bond as a rather smarmy, eyebrow-raising international playboy who never seemed to get hurt. Film writer Andrew Spicer considered Roger Moore to be the most elegant and mannerly of the Bonds, with the voice and style of an English debonair country gentleman. Vincent agreed, stating that Moore was too nice and well-mannered to be a James Bond of any real substance. So what they did to make Roger Moore a little bit more macho, they decided, and here's a special fact, that instead of the Walter PPK, that the usual choice for Bond, they gave him a Smith & Wesson 44 Magnum, which at the time was associated with the macho image of Clint Eastwood character Dirty Harry. So there's a little trivia question nugget for you. In 1985, Moore appeared in his seventh and final film, A View to Kill. He was 57 years old, and he appeared alongside co-star Tanya Roberts, who was only 30. Critics focused on Moore's age, unfortunately. Moore isn't just long in the tooth, he's got tusks. And what looks like an eye job has given him the pie-eyed blankness of a zombie. It's not believable anymore in the action sequences, and even less so in the romantic scenes. So when he was cast for the film, Moore recalled that he felt a bit long in the tooth, and in December 2007 admitted that he was only about 400 years too old for the part. So, unfortunately, he did feel older, but he did bring so much to the James Bond franchise and to his movies throughout his career that throughout all 7 films, he actually earned Bond films over $1 billion in the box office from 1973 to 1985, which is pretty astounding. Some of his films that he was in was Live and Let Die, The Man with the Golden Gun, The Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, which is one of my all-time favorites, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, and A View to Kill. Roger Moore was a great man, and he will be missed.
Yep, he sure will. So thank you for all those listening. Again, very short podcast this week. Again, not a lot throughout the summer here, but we try to make the most of it and go from there. So thank you, Tommy, for your wonderful contributions today. Thank you for those listening. We're only about a few hits away from 1,000. We're so close. We're right there. Just come on, hit the button to get more views. Listen to other previous podcasts that are a little bit longer, a little bit more in depth. But next week we'll be talking about the NBA Finals, more than likely. Another preview for the Champions League Final. The NBA Draft Lottery, we'll go into that a little bit more extensive as to, again, the Celtics getting the number 1 pick. What should they do? What should they not do? And more on that later. So again, thank you so much for listening, everyone. Until next time, this is the Spicy Sports Show with Sam Cerrone and Tom Crane. Till next time, see ya.
See you later, alligators.
All the corners of the universe pull you down. All the hope in the world is starting to reverse, and you doubt. Don't you know that you shine like an ending sun? You can be anything that you're dreaming of. Like a star, you're electric in heaven's dawn. So come on, let it go, you are more than words. In your soul, you are beautiful. Don't you know, you are burning through the dark. Shining like electric stars. Whoa. surreal. Don't believe all the lies that subdue your hope. Just believe. Don't you know that you shine like an ending sun? You can be anything that you're dreaming of. Like a star, you're electric and heaven's dawn. So come on.